How do you like to have a pipeline of youth workers you know are qualified and competent? To have a pool of staff that you can see and choose from, and have your staff stay in your organization for the long term. We call this our IOPA training and staffing signature system, and it's a simple one that provides your organization with the pipeline and pool of qualified, effective, and long term staff. Community organizations are engaged in heart business. You're passionate about caring for our most vulnerable. You want to see transformational change and you're working hard to make it happen. A key part of this vision is having qualified, effective, and long term staff to provide quality care. However, staff are coming in underprepared. They're ill equipped from the training they've been receiving. Recruits, well, they're leaving when reality hits them in the field, and the attrition rate of staff is high. This is really expensive. Casual staff are like babysitting because they haven't been trained fully to fit into your framework of care. You want to scale and help more youth, but that will compromise your culture of excellence and high quality care. Now, with all that being said, these are the very reasons you either A, don't use recruitment companies, or B, you do use them but find them problematic, detached, inefficient, and ineffective. Either way, only organizations with a predictable, quality assured staff recruitment and post placement system can say authentically, no matter who we employ, our clients will get high quality and compassionate staff and continuity of care. At IOPA, we have a bolt on training company, so we can work across training, recruitment, placement, and post placement. We'll partner with you to inform our training to properly prepare and equip youth workers for success in the often volatile field and retain them. We'll embed non-accredited training into our training so that potential candidates are fully prepared for the job while shifting costs from you to us. Our induction will be robust and realistic, including real-life simulations of challenging behaviours. Our signature system will also allow you to employ casual staff for a period of time to get an in-depth insight into whether they're prepared and fit for your company. This is more accurate than a one-off interview process. Because let's face it, if they aren't a good fit as casuals, they probably won't be a good fit as permanent staff. Once onboarded, our post-placement support process will support your recruits to feel safe, equipped, and stay in the job. And our continuing PD will ensure they're prepared to move into more senior roles. Now, in the heart-driven world of resi care and youth work, generally speaking, there seems to be two kinds of organisations. Firstly, the reactives, and these are organisations that are constantly anxious about their staffing levels, whose staffing pools always need replenishment by high-cost and time-sapping recruitment drives every so often. Secondly, the proactives. And the proactives are organisations that have a steady flow and pool of casual and permanent staff who can seamlessly integrate into their workforce. Once employed, staff are retained, trained, and they feel fulfilled. So, what is it that makes some organisations able to scale and take on new contracts, while for others, new contracts are anxiety inducing? Well, there's two things that differentiate the reactives from the proactives. But maybe it's better to tell it in a story. And it's a story about Toyota and how they've become known for their quality and reliability, making the highest quality cars with the fewest defects of any car manufacturer. When the car industry competition started to heat up, the entire industry obsessed over these three P's: production, procurement, and profits. But Toyota took a different approach. Working faster and harder was only producing more defects and returns. So Toyota decided to slow down to speed up, rather than speed up to speed up, and obsessed over these three P's. Firstly, philosophy, secondly, processes, and thirdly, people. Long-term philosophy. Management decisions were made around a long-term philosophy, even at the expense of short-term financial goals. Secondly, processes. Toyota believe that the right process will produce the right results, and those processes were redesigned to eliminate waste through continuous improvement or Kaizen. And then for people, Toyota believe that to add value to the organization, you need to develop your people. These three P's underpin some of the world leading thoughts around management and organizational culture, such as the Lean and Six Sigma programs. So, just like Toyota, I'd like for you to slow down to speed up and let the following sink in. Today, in the ResiCare youth workspace, many organizations are targeting more contracts, yet they don't have a system to provide a steady flow for one of their most important assets, their staff. Most are forced to obsess over compliance rather than the transformational change that can happen at the coalface with our young. Because the reality is, every new contract can bring more overhead, complexity, and headache. Now, remember I mentioned the proactives have two things in place that the reactives don't. Those two things are, firstly, a proven system that will provide a pipeline of staff, and secondly, an overflowing pool of work-ready and qualified staff they can call on whenever they need. Because it comes down to this. If you don't have quality staff, you don't have a service. Imagine then having control on the quality and quantity of your staffing pools. Imagine having enough support post-placement to keep and retain your staff on your books. So here's how you can get a predictable system for recruiting fully qualified and work-ready staff and keeping them there. There's really only three things that matter. Firstly, intimately know your recruits, their motivations, their capacity, capability, prior training and experience. Secondly, having a predictable, profitable system to recruit fully qualified and effective staff. And thirdly, keeping your staff in your organization. If you're not achieving the staffing stability you need for growth and transformational change, then let me ask you two questions. How much control did you have over your staffing levels in the last 30 days? And how many hours for current staff went into managing your staffing levels? In our field, recruitment can often be seen as an expense, and so only a few resources are allocated to it, and the focus is on just making the show go on, comply, fill shifts, and minimize any incidents. Once onboarded, providing a process for new recruits to seamlessly integrate into your workplace culture and systems is often overlooked and seems haphazard. But the reality is, residential care is a human resources industry. And the most efficient organizations, the ones who can actually create transformational change, and those who can scale their operations, have a strengths-based philosophy for their processes and people to succeed. They have a predictable system for generating qualified and work-ready casual and permanent staffing pipelines who are properly primed and ready to go at any time you need. And they know how many staff they have on hand at any time of the day, both working and in the pool. So, what does the system look like? Well, it's the same way Toyota built a world-class production line. First, we blueprint your staffing requirements and levels by knowing your numbers, your needs, and your context intimately. We then tune the process and optimize your staffing recruitment across these phases: training, recruitment, placement, and post-placement. The result of executing this correctly is you'll have a predictable work-ready staffing pool to meet your contractual requirements week after week after week. You'll work on the front end, training and recruitment, to create better results on the back end, staff retention and effectiveness. And naturally, you'll become the preferred provider for contracts and tenders because you are efficient and effective. And the best part, well, you'll know down to the very minute how many staff you have in your casual and permanent pool. Now again, you have to have the right system to be able to do this and get these results. This system is perfect for you if you want to A. Have more input and influence over the training modules and pre-recruitment processes a candidate goes through before they get to you. B. If you want to generate a pipeline and pool of staff. And C. If you don't want to place ads on Seek, run recruitment procedures only to have your staff walk out or find they're not suited to the role. And so here's the process, how the process works. We'll work together to focus on creating a specific and custom training and staffing strategy and execution to help you solve one of the biggest challenges that residential care organisations face. We'll have a predictable and live pool of qualified and work-ready casual and permanents to ensure that not only your shifts are covered, but there's a replacement at the ready if they become unavailable. And we'll create a post-placement support system to ensure that your staff retention rate is higher than you've ever achieved. So we're looking for innovative residential care organisations so that we can help you to execute the heart-driven changes you want and we want in our community. We'd like to partner with you to provide you with our IOPA training and staffing signature system. So if you want to remove the anxiety of fluctuating staffing levels and focus on the change they can bring to the lives of the young and the care, email us now at info@iopa.com.au or call through directly on 1800 557 632 to organise a strategy session. It'll take about 60 minutes with me personally, so we can devise a strategy and action plan so you can achieve your goals this year. Knowing that you're a good fit is crucial because we like to get all our partners results, and to do that we need to get them a quick return on investment. The truth is, there are some people we can't help, and if that's the case, we'll be 100% upfront with you, and you can do the same. So is there a catch? Well, yes there is. The catch is this: we're only looking at working with 4 organisations max. Why? Because this is the maximum amount of organisations we feel we'll be able to provide this signature system to with the quality we want. There'll be timeliness, quality staff, in-depth support, and tailored PD. We only want to work with organisations that we know with certainty and conviction we can generate a return on investment and results for, and there'll only be 4. So, if you feel like this is right for you, go ahead and email us for an application right now and see if you qualify.